Hi, I'm Jeremy, and today I'm going to take a look at a party game for 3 to 8 players that plays in about half an hour or so. And this is a game called Attribute. I have this very small box version of it, which is nice because it's portable, but it's been reprinted several times over the years. In English, there's multiple English printings, some of them with larger boxes, some of them with different card design, some with different scoring rules. But I'm going to take a minute to show you the rules for this game, which to me is a more refined or a better version of the game, the popular game Apples to Apples. So let me take a minute to show you how this game works, and then I'll come back and give you my more detailed thoughts on Attribute. The game Attribute is going to be played over a number of rounds. In each round, each player is going to get 4 of these attribute cards, which are going to function also as your scorekeeping. But on the other side, they have written on them adjectives. So you can see here, hazardous to your health, healthy, nocturnal, sung about. And one thing I'll point out is that my version of the game, at least, has this weird font, which sometimes is a little bit tough for people to discern quickly, which matters in this game. But they will get those 4 adjective cards, and they'll always have 4 at the start of each round. They'll draw back up to 4. And then they'll also get one of these sheep cards, and these sheep cards come in 2 types. There's either the positive association sheep or the negative association sheep, and those are marked with those pluses and minuses, so the black and white sheep. So the way that the game works is that each player is going to have those cards at the start of the round, and then one player will take a turn as essentially a clue giver. And what they're going to do at the start of the round is they're going to get to, name a category. So for example, the clue giver might say socks. So if the player says socks, every other player is going to look at their attribute card, and again, they're going to do this in secret, and they're going to pick one of these adjectives that corresponds or does not correspond to socks. Alright, so that's Attribute, and I think I'll begin by comparing this to, Apples and Apples and Cards Against Humanity, which are very popular party games, but they kind of fall flat as games, whereas this one I think works very well as a game, because whereas in those games you're essentially trying to appeal to the prejudices or the tastes of the judge, who's going to be picking a card each round. Here, everybody's going to be simultaneously picking based on criteria that they don't know. They don't know if you're trying to appeal to the word or you're trying to pick a word that has nothing to do with the word. And you have to figure that out very quickly. So it's less of a game where you're trying to play each other's, socially, and it's more of a game where you're just trying to actually meet an objective that's determined in advance, which makes it function as an actual game. Sometimes it feels like in Apples to Apples, you're just, trying to make the judge laugh, and that's how you're going to win that game. Although, of course, like Apples to Apples, I think that to a certain degree, this is less about who's going to win, who's going to play the best game, than the fun that you're going to have with people. And this is still a very, very fun game, despite the fact that it actually has scoring rules that I think work. It's one where you're going to laugh at the weird juxtapositions that people make when they play their cards, and sometimes people will play a word that you think surely could not have been associated with the other word, but based on the 4 cards that they have in their hand, that was what they were trying to go for. They were trying to make a connection there. And trying to read other players' intentions, I think, does make the game very funny. I think you want to institute some house rules. We, like I said, make sure that players play their selected cards at the same time, so it's not too obvious if somebody has an immediate match. And we also don't allow players to discuss their own card during the picking phase, although they're allowed to talk about the other cards. That's allowed to be open-ended, but you don't want people trying to negotiate people into picking their cards or not picking their cards. So I think there is some tweaking necessary to make this a really great game, but at the same time I think that I would pick this over Apples to Apples every single day of the week. Yet I think it absolutely would appeal to anybody who likes Apples to Apples. So for me, it's it's a surprisingly good game. It's one that it's a shame that it's not more of a hit, given how much of a runaway success Cards Against Humanity and Apples to Apples have been. And certainly you could mock up a copy of this yourself. Yeah, I know that's out of print currently. You could track down a used copy as well, I suppose. But there's almost no reason that you couldn't play this with Apples to Apples or Cards Against Humanity cards, since the clue giving is pretty open-ended. I guess the only catch is that here you would need cards with adjectives on it, and those cards, I believe they have nouns on them, so maybe that wouldn't work. So strike that from the record. In any case, I will definitely say that I've enjoyed my plays of Attribute. I think that I would encourage people who feel that, they're playing those, familiar party games, time and again, and want something that's a little bit more of a game and will give them a slightly different feel with a little bit more variety, would check this one out. So definitely a strong game for as far as party games go. And yeah, I guess those are my thoughts on Attribute. Thanks for watching.